1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the beat back.
Hello YouTube, the Kingpin of Cinema,
and the QB999 with another episode of The Magic Hour.
Welcome to the Magic Hour. And this time we're going to be reviewing the latest Magic the Gathering set 2012, or in other words, Special Edition 14.
Well, this is the core set for the year 2012. I know. They stopped doing it by set number and started doing it by the year it comes out.
Or the year before.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's a tad bit confusing, but...
But anyway, so they released a spoiler list. This set is a little bit different because we've actually gotten to have, or at least I did, get to have a little experience with the cards from this set in the pre-release tournament that I went to and didn't do too well.
Well,
let's just say... It's hard to win when you have like two people that pull two Gideons in their packs, and one person who pulls both a Sorin and a Jace. Tends to make it a little difficult to win.
I just bought my cards and did a first round drop. Because I'm awesome like that.
Yeah, the pussy way out.
Yeah, I just wanted to get my my promo Volskag, the Lord of the whatever. Blood Lord of Volskag.
So anyway, you know the way we do things. We each pick our 6 favorite cards that best represent this set and the cards that we like, and...
Except you picked 8 cards.
Technically.
This time around. Usually I pick more cards.
We'll get into it, though. So why don't you start us off?
Yeah, we basically picked all new cards. We didn't pick any reprinted ones.
Well, I did.
Like Gravespawn... Well...
I chose a couple.
Yeah, okay, so he chose a couple. I chose all new ones. So like Gravespawn Titan I didn't pick or anything like that. My number 1 is Angelic Destiny, which is an insanely overpowered white card.
Which is why it's a mythic rare.
It costs 4. Target creature gets +4/+4, flying, first strike, vigilance, and is an angel in addition to its types. And when that creature dies, the enchantment returns to your hand.
So basically, you're always going to have a very powerful creature out with flying and first strike.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
And for 4 mana, that's not tough to play.
No, you get it out pretty quickly, and it's very hard to get rid of.
Unless you have like a Demystify or something, but...
Or something that just exile it completely.
But still, depending on the deck you're using, that can be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
My first card is a new Jace. Because... the previous Jace was so overpowered, they actually banned him from Standard.
Yeah, 3 months before it would have left anyways.
Yeah. But anyway, the new Jace, I think, is just as powerful because his +1 ability is you draw a card and someone has to mill a card. His +0 ability is instantly milling 10 cards from a person, which in a draft tournament or in a pre-release where a deck has only like 40 cards to begin with, that's 1/4 your deck right there.
Yeah.
And his final ability is any number of players can draw 20 cards. Each get to draw 20 cards. So it's either you're helping yourself, or you're just doing a final big hit to your opponent to deck him out.
Yeah, so he's pretty good. My next one is Lord of the Unreal. And this card is exceptional for 2 reasons. One, we finally get a new race to explore as a tribal deck, Illusions, which have been around for a long time, but now we can actually do a deck with them. The thing with Illusions has always been, if you target it for whatever, with anything, ability or spell, it immediately goes in a graveyard, whether you counter that ability or spell anyways.
Yeah.
This guy at least gives them hexproof. Now, hexproof is basically, they just put a name to an ability that's been around for a long time. And that ability is, your creatures can't be the target of spells or abilities that your opponents control. So you can still target them, but why would you? You would kill them. You might as well have just given them Shroud, but... So yeah, they all get hexproof. And he gives them all +1/+1. So now you finally have the option to expand a new tribal deck in blue. And that's why I love this guy. This guy's awesome.
This leads me into my card, Phantasmal Image, which is also a rare illusion for this set. It's basically a clone, but it's an illusion-type creature that comes into play as a copy of a creature, and it gains the ability, if it's ever targeted by a spell or ability, you have to sack it.
And it costs 2.
And it costs 3, I believe.
No,
that's right, it costs 2.
It costs 2.
Yeah, which, it can hurt it, because I always think of like a Phantasmal Bear going up to a World Slayer sword, trying to pick it up, and then dying because of it.
But since, say, like for instance, your opponent has, like a Titan out, you copy that Titan.
Just for 2 mana, you get to copy that Titan.
Or if your opponent's using Phantasmal stuff, you target with that creature, and it'll kill his Phantasm.
Luckily, and that's why we have the Lord of the Unreal too, is to buff him up, so your creature would become a stronger version of the one that you just copied, as well as having hexproof.
Yeah. Alright, well, my next card is for black, is Bloodlord of Voskoth,
I think.
Voskoth. He's basically a new vampire lord, and by my count, this makes the 4th.
I think so.
4th or 5th vampire lord.
They're really pushing vampires on us. They're starting to become the new elves.
They're actually, I'd say, almost better than elves at this point.
Well, they have more going for them.
This
guy's helping them out.
Considering how many lords they have, yeah, they're really pushing it. This guy's insanely cool, because not only does he have flying, but he gives all your vampires Bloodthirst. Now, Bloodthirst is an ability...
Bloodthirst 3!
Well, let me get to that. See, Bloodthirst was an ability from Ravnica, and how Bloodthirst works is, if you do 1 point of damage to your opponent...
At least.
...and then play a creature... He'll come in with that many +1/+1 counters, depending on what his Bloodthirst is. So, Bloodthirst 1, 1 counter. Bloodthirst 2, 2 counters. So, damage doesn't reflect how much the Bloodthirst is. So, this guy gives them all Bloodthirst 3. So, if you just do 1 point of damage, and you just start throwing down vampires, they'll all come in with +3/+3 counters on them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this guy...
and there's vampires already in this set that also have Bloodthirst too. So I'm not sure how that works if it stacks up with each other.
If I had to guess, it would stack. See, if a vampire had Bloodthirst 2, and he gives them an additional +3, it would be 5.
I would think so, but...
it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Because, yeah, you have plenty of vampires that already have Bloodthirst.
Yeah, so more Bloodthirst.
Alright. My next card... it's just a fun one I like, because it can fuck over any creature. It doesn't matter how big or dangerous it is. It's Turn to Frog. It's a simple blue card that costs 2. Say you have a 2020 Marodi Large come at ya. Flying, indestructible. There's nothing you can do. All you have is a little goblin to defend you. Guess what? Turn to Frog instantly becomes a 1/1 creature and loses all its abilities. It can't do shit after that.
So it's basically the Turn to Snake.
It's Turn to Snake, except
it's all blue.
It's just blue, and you don't get to draw a card.
Yeah.
But it's still a card that can really change the tide for you if there's just one creature really fucking you over. Just use this on it, and it turns it into a weakling that you'll just snap away.
Yeah, so that one's pretty cool. My 4th one is Sutured Ghoul. And basically, I like zombie decks, and I'm planning on making more zombie decks. So I'm definitely going to have this guy. And basically how he works is, you go into your graveyard when you cast them, and you remove creatures from it. Their collective power is Sutured Ghoul's power. Their collective defense is his defense. So this guy can get pretty darn big if you have a lot of big creatures in your graveyard.
Like
you lose those cards, but... You know, if you don't have a lot of recursion, he's gonna be big.
That would help our friend Joe out a lot, the way he plays.
Yeah.
Alright. My next card is one of the first is probably like the only reprint I've really talked about, I think. It's Goblin Grenade.
It's the only one worth talking about.
It's the one. This one we haven't seen in a long time. I've seen him and a couple of our friends play with it a lot, but
the card was only ever released in Fallen Empires.
I mean, and considering how powerful it is, it makes sense because for 1 mana, you sack a goblin, which that's what they're meant for, really. You sack a goblin, instantly 5 damage to anything on the field.
No, just opponent.
Oh, just opponent, really?
Yeah, just opponent.
That's still 5 damage.
Yeah, 5 damage. If you have, like...
4 mana, 4 goblins, ends the game right there.
If you have 4 Goblin Grenades in your opening hand, which I've had happen to me, that's 20 damage swing by turn 4.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen to me. So, there's a reason why we haven't seen those till now. Why they haven't reprinted them till now. Because the card is insanely good, and I love it.
And this just kind of makes me want to make a Goblin deck again. And try and make one using a mix of Goblin Grenades and Goblin Fodder. Or it's the black version of it, but it was a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, my next card is Vengeful Pharaoh. Yet another zombie. Aside from being a 5/4 death touch, really what you need this guy is to have him in the graveyard. Because when he's in the graveyard, anytime an opponent's monster attacks you and does damage, they have to sacrifice it.
Well, it gets destroyed.
Yeah, it destroys them.
Vengeful Pharaoh destroys it and then goes to the top of its owner's library.
Yeah. So Vengeful Pharaoh is pretty cool. Just because of the fact that you just have to get him in the graveyard.
He kind of has a built-in dread. It's not as good because if multiple creatures attack you, you only get to destroy one. But it's still good because you get to choose which one is dying.
And then it recurs him.
Yeah, and it brings him back too.
Yeah, so he's good in the fact that, yeah, he's not as good as a Dread, but if you have like an all-zombie deck, he's useful. Because he's either going to be useful in battle as the Death Touch, or in your graveyard, where you can destroy a creature and then recur him.
So he's always doing something.
Yeah, he's always going to be around to do something.
My number 5 pick is another fun card I'm hoping to get and be able to use. It's called Scrambleverse. You know, Red has this, just has this built-in ability to it where a lot of the stuff it does is just random. And this one is as random as it gets. You basically take all the non-land permanents that are on the field, and everyone gets chosen at random. And for each permanent, a player gets chosen at random, and that player gains control of that permanent. So the way it turns out, an opponent can have 20 creatures, another guy can have none, and it's possible for them all to just switch sides, or to be completely spread out. In a multiplayer game, I could see this being a lot of fun.
Yeah, Red has a lot of chance cards that are like either pick people through randomness or through chance, like flipping a coin. And that's one thing that's kind of fun about Red, is that you can put in a lot of stuff where you can take chance.
This card just seems like a lot of fun because it can just screw up an entire person's game.
Yeah. All right, my last card, Garruk the Primal Hunter. This is the second Garruk.
An actual new Garruk.
Yeah.
Not just a reprint, a new one.
Yeah, don't get me confused with like saying second. No, the original Garruk's been reprinted like 10 times. This is an old new Garruk, and he's got some really good abilities. He costs 5, and basically his main ability, which is 6 counter, so there's no second turn swing with him. You get a 6/6 worm creature for every land you control. So you can have a multicolored deck and have 10 lands, well, you get 10 6/6 worms. And for a green deck, it's not hard to get land.
His other abilities are good, too.
Yeah, he can make beast tokens.
He makes a 3/3 beast token, and his second ability is you draw cards equal to the highest power of all the creatures you control.
Which is also good. So all of his abilities are insanely good.
Alright, as for my last cards, this is a set of 3. It's the Crown, the Scepter, and the Throne of Empires. These 3 cards are all artifacts. They all kind of work like the Kuldra armor from Mirrodin.
Sort
of. Where if you have all 3 out, they do a lot more than they originally do by themselves. You have the Crown, I believe, that taps a creature. You have the Scepter that deals the damage to an opponent. And you have the Throne that gives you a 1/1 token. You know, all stuff, not that great.
It's a 1/1 soldier token.
1/1 soldier token. When you have all 3 out at once, the crown doesn't tap a creature, it takes control of it. The scepter deals 3 damage to a player, and the throne lets you put in 5 1/1 tokens.
Yeah.
So, having all 3 out is greatly beneficial.
So if you have all 3 of those out and like
it's just really good for you.
4 mana, at least 4 mana open, you can do a 6 creature swing in 1 turn.
You need the 4 mana because one of the artifacts only costs
3.
All you have to do is tap.
1. Yeah.
One taps, one costs 1 in tap, the other costs 3 in taps.
Yeah. So, and if you have Unwinding Clock, they all untap on your opponent's upkeep, so you can do it again.
Just do it all over again. That was one of the things that really screwed me over during the tournament, was just the crown tapping my stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that really screwed me over.
Well, any one of those would be good in a pre-release or draft tournament, because, I mean, like the throne, yeah, you get a 1/1. You're guaranteed to get a creature every turn with the damn thing.
And also, the thing about is I don't think any of them are rare. I think they're all uncommon.
No, one's rare.
One's rare?
The one that puts in the soldiers is rare, the throne.
Okay. It's kind of like, then, to me, the stations from Mirrodin, too. Grinding Station, Salvaging Station, where 2 of them are uncommons, 2 of them were rare.
Yeah, the Summoning Station was rare. No, I think 1 was common, 2 were uncommon, and 1 was rare. The Summoning Station was rare.
Yeah. Anyway, so overall, this set looks like a pretty good one. They're bringing back some good old-fashioned cards that I wanted to see, because I never got a chance to play with, like, Goblin Grenades.
Yeah, this set is pretty good. I'm definitely going to be picking up a box of it. There's a lot of cards I really want from it, namely the Planeswalkers.
Yeah. And
all the other cards I mentioned, because I really want to make an illusion deck.
Yeah, they actually brought something new to Blue, and giving this new creature type a try. It has a big downfall to it, the fact that it can't be targeted by anything. But
They did work a way to try and fix that.
And they also... And, you know, it's a trade-off, because these creatures cost a little bit of mana, and they're stronger than normal. I mean, you get a 2/2 on turn 1 in the form of Phantasmal Blade for 1 mana. For 4 mana, you can get a 5/5 Flying Dragon. So, you know, it's a big trade-off, but it's something worth looking into to see if it works.
You know, in a way I think of it, you know, if you're just using a regular deck, they're going to use spells that target creatures anyway. It's just they don't have to meet a high requirement to kill them.
Yeah.
But, you know, oh well. So I'm looking really forward to doing an illusion deck and using those Turn to Frogs, and
yeah.
So there's a lot to get excited about for this set, and yeah, vampires are getting more OP, which they already were OP. And we haven't forgotten about zombies, because Cemetery Reaper's being reprinted, and Call of the Grave, which is some more good stuff, and Grave Titan. All the Titans have been reprinted.
So it's good to see they're branching out a little bit more.
It would be nice if Red and Green branched out. Now, I know they're popular or whatnot, but God, I would love to see, like, dwarves made, or anything aside from elves and green. Bring back the snake creatures from Kamigawa. Oh, wait, nobody liked that set. Well, I think that's all we had time for.
So, anyway, we recommend getting a box of this one, you know, or at least buying a couple packs, getting into the set, maybe trying out some new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, they didn't add any new abilities, they just kind of gave a new name to Hexproof.
And they brought back Bloodthirst.
They brought back Bloodthirst. Oh, and from now on, cards no longer say when it goes to the graveyard. It actually says when this creature dies.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the next block holds. It is going to have... Hexproof is going to be here from now on. But is Bloodthirst going to be in it? Is this an idea of what we're going to be kind of seeing in the next set? Is more vampires? I don't know. It's a guess.
Yeah.
All I know is that for the next block, we are guaranteed to get a second Ileana. I think that's been pretty well confirmed.
And also, I think a new Chandra, or was Chandra new in this set?
Chandra was new in this set.
Yeah, that's right. She was another new one. 6 damage among 6... Permanents. So that's 36 damage to spread around.
Alright, thanks for tuning in. This has been Magic Hour, the Kingpin of Cinema.
And QB999. Hope you enjoyed it.
Alright. Peace out.